Hey friends, so I'm back to finish our story that we learned about the other day, which was Sam helps recycle. So let's start where we left off. Maya's mom says that each person in the United States produces more than 4 pounds of garbage each day. That's enough to make 60,000 truckloads of trash. Where does all that garbage go? I soon find out. We drive by a huge landfill. My nose can smell it a mile away. Maya's mom tells me that a landfill is a big hole in the ground, and it has a lining of clay and plastic at the bottom. The lining keeps the rotting garbage from leaking into the groundwater. There are big bulldozers pushing huge piles of garbage that have been dumped off at the landfill. The trucks pack it down with their wide, big, heavy tires. I've heard Maya say that there's just too much trash to put in landfills. That's why we have to recycle some things like paper, plastic, cans, and bottles. Those can be reused and turned into new things. I'm glad we're at the recycle center, but I'm still worried. Where did my food bowl go? I watch while some people put their newspapers into a big container. Then Maya and Mom dump their newspapers. My paper goes in too. The sanitation worker comes over to pet me. He tells Maya that recycling paper saves trees because paper comes from trees. And lots of energy too. He explains that our recycled paper gets packed into big bales that go to a paper factory. Look at all that. That's all paper right there. At the factory, the old paper is turned into pulp. Then it goes through a machine that turns out miles of new paper every day. Miles and miles. That means like from your house all the way to the grocery store, all the way to grandma's, or all the way to school. A long way. Next, Maya's mom adds our bottles and cans to a big pile. The front end loader scoops them up and dumps them into the back of a truck. It makes a horrible racket. That means noise. I wish I could cover my ears. The worker said that the bottles and cans will go to a sorting factory that separates the glass in the middle. Then they go to separate factories to be recycled. So there's all those bottles and cans, and maybe it's her job to pick up all of the pop cans and put them in a pile. At one factory, the glass bottles are crushed and melted into liquid. Then the liquid glass is poured into molds and new bottles are made. The cans are taken to a different place. Before they leave the sorting center, they are crushed together into bales. Then they're taken to a factory that recycles metal. Recycled cans are made into new cans that can be recycled all over again. So if you have a pop can and you recycle your pop can and then they crush it down and then they melt it and they make new pop cans. How cool is that? But that doesn't happen if you throw it in the garbage though. Maya's mom unloads the plastic last. I see my food bowl sitting at the top of the pile. The worker tells us that the plastic bottles take up a lot of space. In some landfills, they may never decompose or waste away, so they're always there. That's why it's really important to recycle bottles, just like this bottle. So you can put it in the recycle bin, or you can reuse it at home and do something else with it, like a fun craft. He says that the plastic is sent from the recycling center to a factory. First, it's cleaned, then it's chopped up into millions of little pieces. Finally, it's melted down and made into new plastic. So same thing with if you have a pop bottle, then you recycle it and then they melt it down and they make a new pop bottle. On our way home, I worry about my bowl, but I still feel really good about recycling. When I go inside the house, I have a great surprise. Maya shows me a new red bowl. And look, it has the recycle symbol on it. She points out the recycling symbol on the side as she fills it with food. While I'm eating, Maya and her mom talk about other recycled products. Maya's notebook comes from recycled paper, and some clothes are made from recycled plastic. Even some playground surfaces are made from old tennis shoes or rubber tires. After I finish my food, I head straight to the doggy bed for a nap. Recycling is a lot of work, but it sure is worth it. The end, and look at there, Sam sleeping with all of his recycled stuff right there. Alright, I hope that you start recycling some stuff at home, and if you do, make sure you tell Miss Cindy or Miss Pfeiffer about it. Alright, bye friends.